Hey everybody, how's it going? Dan here on the Drum Talk TV News Desk Report, May 16th, 2025. In case you're watching this in 3 years, you'll find out what was happening in music, but we also have other stuff to report, stuff going on at Drum Talk TV, and you'll notice this guy, Jason Gianni, guest co-host of the show today, John Kinstings, and on Mackinac Island with his wife, so we can. I don't think they have internet there, so we can talk about him if we want. Just kidding, John. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good. I'm actually really good. I feel good. Had a nice day today. The commute, New Jersey Transit is on strike today, and I take the path and it, on the exception of crowded trains, I was unaffected. So I made it back in time from teaching at the Collective, and I'm here with my best buddy in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So, hey, we always start out with this. We got to get this out of the way out of respect. First, May 9th, just a little few days ago, really, Johnny Rodriguez, a Mexican-American country singer, passed away at 73, peacefully surrounded by his family. So, and then we'll jump right to this day in music. And I don't want to forget, May 16th, happy birthdays to Roger Earl of Foghat, great friend. Billy Cobham of Mahavishnu Orchestra and Spectrum and 40 and Spectrum 50, and Billy Cobham, also a great friend, did 2 documentaries with Billy. And Daniel Glass, also a great friend,
yes,
an amazing modern day swing player. And I don't know what happened to that guy. I always feel bad for Daniel. Can you imagine? I mean, seriously, you open up a drum kit and it's fucking backwards. He had to learn set up backwards. Like what a pain.
He's got to blame his parents. He's a lefty. What do you want from him?
Wait, what is that? What it is?
Yeah. I got to send him a text. I forgot it was his birthday. Happy birthday,
great
Dan.
drummers. Absolutely great drummers' birthdays today. But this day, May 16th in 2009, Bob Dylan went to #1 on the U.S. chart with Together Through Life, his 33rd studio album. I know a couple of people that saw him just the other day. They said it's the best he's ever sounded in 30 years that they've been following him. That's quite a statement. Yeah. Maybe sobriety has something to do with it? I don't know. The album received 2 Grammy Award nominations in Best Americana Album category and Best Solo Rock Vocal Performance category for Beyond Here Lies Nothing. The album also was significant as the only album by Bob Dylan to top the US and UK charts at the same time consecutively.
Excellent. And we're going backwards now to 1987. Yes. U2 started a 3-week run at #1 on the US singles charts with or Without You, the group's first US #1 single. The third track from their 1987 The Joshua Tree record, and the song was the group's most successful single at the time.
Yeah, huge hit. Yeah. 1977, the London Evening Standard reported that Led Zeppelin singer Robert Plant had been arrested at an Atlanta airport for being drunk and pulling a knife. Since Plant was at home in Wales at the time of the incident, the person arrested was a man impersonating Plant, and the British paper ran an apology the following night. Funny thing, when I first started to read that last night, I got as far as 1977. It's May 16th. No, I knew he wasn't there at the time. So
you knew it just based on where you knew where he was touring or at home or something.
Because I saw them a month and a week later in Los Angeles. They had to postpone. They had to rearrange their tour because Jimmy got food poisoning on the prior to the day I would have seen them, which would have been March 25th. So things got rearranged. So the date sounded funny to begin with. And then I kept reading and well, there you go. That's what you get for impersonating the golden voice of rock and roll.
There you go. So now we'll go even further back to 1966 and talk about one of my favorite first records, which is the Beach Boys released the classic album Pet Sounds. Widely ranked as one of the most influential records ever released, and has been ranked at #1 in several music magazines' lists of the greatest albums of all time, including New Musical Express, The Times, and Mojo magazine. I mean, talk about a record that was influential and changed the landscape of music. Oh my God.
So can I embarrass myself for a minute?
You can do whatever you want. Keep your pants on, but yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, wait, you said I should put them on there. No. I'm not familiar with the record.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I may know some songs from it that I've heard on the radio over the last 60 years, but
Yeah,
I'm just
you know most of the song. Wouldn't it be nice if we
oh, okay.
and God only knows, God only
Yeah.
knows, you know. But it's amazing. It's like
So
it's one of the first
collectively, it's a
records.
whole bunch of influential hits, basically.
Well, yeah, but it was more than that. It was one of the first not really concept albums, but theme albums ever written in the rock industry.
Oh,
That was one of the things that sort of laid the foundation for a lot of the concept albums that came up. Hence the influence of Sgt. Pepper's and
oh,
Days of Future Past. Moody Blues was kind of around the same time. They both Pet Sounds and Days influenced Sgt. Pepper's and the conceptual thing. But it's interesting. It's like the record starts out and wouldn't it be nice with a harp, and it was like one of the first records that ever started out with orchestral music on a rock album.
so what's
So
the
yeah,
concept though that ties it all together?
kind of like summer love, you know, that whole like
Okay,
you know like that kind of thing. But
yeah.
like the whole teens growing older and getting into like sort of the next stage of life and that kind of thing.
Oh,
And
so
it's
coming
kind
of
of
age type of thing.
coming of age, yeah, and it's it's up for argument how conceptual it really was. Most people say there was just sort of a line drawn through the record, but it does sort of like come up in everyone's influences of like, oh, let's write a story going through a record, and Pet Sounds
Huh,
started that. Yeah,
maybe I should give it a listen, like front to back, because I probably know every song, but never knew the context.
you do, and the production you gotta listen for production reasons. The whole
I'm
orchestra
in.
and multiple instrument thing, and it's really amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thanks
yeah,
for that. Well,
yeah.
we've got some Drum Talk TV related stuff, and then we'll have some music industry news, some big stuff, some real big stuff that just happened. First, Drum Talk TV Brilliance Ambassadors Program. This is our membership site. The Ambassadors Program premium members can refer people with a code for their friends or even enemies or exes or whatever to sign up, and they get $10 per sign up, which becomes payable about 30 days later. Refer as many people as you want, get as many $10 rewards as you want. And the people you refer get a 15% discount to our premium membership. So think about what a hero you'd be, right? So check this out. Here's a little video about it. Hey, everybody. Dan here from Drum Talk TV and Drum Talk TV Bruins. Hey, how would you? I should have warned you. You got to put up with that idiot again. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Dan here from Drum Talk TV and Drum Talk TV Bruins. Hey, how would you like to make bank by being a premium member of Drum Talk TV Brilliance? It's easy. Like, you're a music fan, right? That's why you joined. How many other music fans do you know, right? So what if they got a discount for joining if you referred them and you got $10 for each one you refer? I mean, you'd pretty much have to be a doofus like this to miss out on something like that, right? Because being fellow music fans, we all know fellow music fans. So go ahead, invite your friends with your own code. We'll tell you how in a minute, but that way you can enjoy things like our live stream concerts, our fan Q&As with big artists, producers, and record executives, our twice-a-month game shows, and other fun things in Drum Talk TV Brilliance with your friends while giving them a discounted invitation, and you make bank. So there you go. So follow the link in this post. If you're not already a premium member, become a premium member. And if you are a premium member, you'll get an email real soon to show how to get your own invite code where you can tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. Tell 20 friends. That's $200. Wait, what? You'd have to be like this to miss out on that. You're not like that, are you? Invite your friends. Let's have some fun together. Healthy escapism away from the nonsense and the drama and the craziness online on social. Join us, Drum Talk TV Brilliance. We're here for the fun of it. Oh, and at any time, you can become a premium member, refer your friends, and make some bank. There you go. And Steve's going to put the link in there that'll take you there. If you're a premium member, you could jump right in And if you're not a member, or if you're a free member, which we welcome, you could still become a premium member, sign up for that. And if you're not familiar with the membership site at all, here's Enja to tell you about it.
And now we are inviting everyone to join us in our new membership site for exclusive live streamed concerts, round table Q&As with big artists, and not just drummers, all in virtual environments. No goggles required. And so many more experiences. And here's a peek at one of our live stream game shows.
The results. Totally scrambled the leaderboard, right? All right.
And winners can win prizes, and each year we will host a live in-person event with our competition of champions, who at some point has not been moved by music. Oh man, everybody here has seen someone that's walking in their truth. And that's Dan and so many of our fans and artists from all over the world. So join this exclusive community. Come share your brilliance and admire the brilliance of others.
There you go.
Woo.
Sign up, folks. Tons of fun. In fact, that game show that was on the screen, we're playing that game show, Majority Rules edition of Women in Music, this coming Tuesday, the 20th. So
Nice.
we'd love to see you. People can win prize packages up to $50. It's really a lot of fun. Cool. What else we got, Jason?
Well, over at Drum Talk TV Brilliance, we're running 2 drumming challenges through all of May until the 31st at 11:59 Pacific Daylight Time. I was involved in the Phil Collins one, I believe. Was that the one? Which was the one
Yeah.
that I did? Yeah, Phil Collins, which was great. I know there was a Neil one. Now we got one is the Gavin Harrison drumming challenge, which, oh man, I'd like to see some of the people I want to see someone do anesthetize or way out of here.
I was
Okay.
thinking anesthetize for sure. Yeah.
Let's check that out. All right.
Yeah.
He's played with Porcupine Tree, Pineapple Thief, King Crimson, and many more. We also have the Physical Graffiti Drumming Challenge, where people can play along to tracks from the 50-year-old classic Led Zeppelin album. Premium members of www.drumtalktvbrilliance.com can send in more submissions for our play-along contests, whereas people accessing the free showcase can only submit up to 2 play-along videos. So keep that in mind.
Yep. And celebrating 50 years of that album. That's why we decided, and the month of John Bonham's birthday, we thought we'd do, let's be gluttons for punishment, create more work, and do 2 challenges. Here's Steve with info on the Gavin Harrison one.
May is Gavin Harrison's birth month, and you can honor him in the Gavin Harrison Drumming Challenge, playing along to official tracks from Pineapple Thief, Porcupine Tree, King Crimson, Blackfield Renaissance, and more. First, second, and third place winners can win a gift certificate to their favorite music store, as well as a free Drum Talk TV shirt, picked from 36 designs. And first place will have the chance to be interviewed live on Drum Talk TV. You must play along to the actual tracks from the official releases that Gavin played on, and you don't need to worry about them getting muted or pulled. Record your videos horizontally. Once done, submit in our Drum Talk TV Brilliance showcase. It's free. Your videos will be reviewed and graded on accuracy, fan praise, and sound. For the fan praise factor, invite people to vote under each video they like. The judging criteria is explained further on the submissions page. Submissions open through May 31st. Join us at drumtalktvbrilliance.com.
Yeah. And the same thing for the Physical Graffiti one.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say judge on sound, we're talking about matching as closely as you can the sound of that drummer's drums. And so someone like Gavin, who's played with so many different bands, yes, he's got a very identifiable sound, but from band to band, album to album, there might be some nuances that are different in the tuning, or some drums might sound drier or more muted, whereas others are more open tone. So whatever song you're playing, you want to match. And the one I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get, and we're getting a bunch, is for this one.
Join the Physical Graffiti Drumming Challenge over at Drum Talk TV Brilliance. Play along to tracks from this legendary 50-year-old Led Zeppelin album and submit your videos. First, second, and third place winners can win a gift certificate to their favorite music store, as well as a free Drum Talk TV shirt, picked from 36 designs. And first place will have the chance to be interviewed live on Drum Talk TV.
And then the same judging rules as well. Oh, and I should mention, we finished, so these go from the first day of the month to the last day of the month. We finished the Stuart Copeland Drumming Challenge, which ended the last day of April. And I'm announcing the 3 winners on the 18th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, very late at night, early morning hours if you're in the UK, or you can find out the next day, or anywhere in Europe or wherever. So that's coming up.
Cool. You. I think it's you.
No, it's you.
It is?
Yeah.
Where are we here?
Top of page 2.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. The next Drum Talk TV Brilliance game show will be Tuesday, May 20th, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's the game of majority rules, with the theme being women in music.
Yeah, lots of fun. Last one, we had the most people we've ever had, and winners of each round. So there's 3 rounds, and after each round, the winner spins it's a animated wheel, and it lands on different prizes. They get that prize. But then there's a 4th round that only the 3 winners play, and the winner of that round spins a different prize wheel with different prizes. One of them, I don't know if this is a prize or a punishment, gets to co-host a show with me on Drum Talk TV, an episode of something.
Well, this is a punishment, so I think we know the answer. So,
especially if you gotta catch a train during a transit strike.
Now we're good. We're home. I'm happy. We're good.
Yeah, good. The other day, Lou Calderola and I did another episode of our original series, Under the Influence, and that was also women in music being the theme. And then also within this week, I interviewed Terry Morton, an innovator over at, he bought Kickport, but he created the Kick Tone microphone, which is built like a sub kick, but it's for high fidelity recording or for live performing. And it mounts on a boom or can slide onto a Kickport. It's really neat. And then last night we had Kenny Sprague from Radius Drums, shared some stuff with us, and we had Mark Zonder on. You caught a teeny bit of that. I saw you chime in from band A to Z and their new album, which is just fantastic. It's so good.
Yeah. And for those who are not Fates Warning fans or Mark Zonder fans, get on the ball. This is one of probably my biggest influential drummers as far as part writing around the kits. He is absolutely one of the most musical drummers you will ever hear. So go back and listen to those classic Fates.
What would you recommend as a starting album for people that are not familiar with him?
Well, Fates Warning and Dream Theater came up together. So you're talking about some early progressive metal, and Fates was a little darker than Dream Theater.
Yeah.
So for people that are a little more interested in sort of crossing over and getting a little more, not pop, but you know what I mean? Like, a little more mainstream. Parallels was their biggest selling record, 1991, 92. And any of the records around that time, you can't go wrong, are just absolutely amazing. The one before that, Perfect Symmetry, is some of Mark's best work, but it's very dark and very, very progressive. If you want an incredible concept record, check out Pleasant Shade of Grey.
Cool.
Just any of those records, and 4 or 5 records in between there it's just some of the best stuff ever. Amazing.
Were they when they started out, were they on the same label as Dream Theater?
No. Well, they started out many years before that.
Okay.
They started out in the early 80s, and they had a different drummer, Steve Zimmerman, and it was just sort of a different sounding band. They were a little more like early Queensryche, early Maiden, that kind of thing, a little more progressive. But it really wasn't until like the late 80s, early 90s that they kind of found their own sound. And Mark really made that difference, and his parts are just unbelievable. Listen to a song. I send it to you on your phone. Listen to a song like Monument. It's absolutely amazing.
I wonder if they just also had a thing about getting drummers with last names that begin with a Z.
That could be it too.
Maybe Alex Lifeson's son will play with them someday. His
Yeah,
real
that's
last
what
name is
Zavinovich.
Zavinovich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. What
All
else?
right. Looking ahead after this news desk report at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, you'll be doing another drumming injury talk. Or you will be doing another drumming talk with Janice Yang. Then tomorrow at noon Pacific, you'll have Keon Boyati and Derek Goodwin, the drummer of one of the guitarists of the fake band practice.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, May 22nd, you and Steven will be interviewing Miguel Bass about
bass, actually, like the
bass. Is it bass? Oh, okay. And bass, bass, same spelling. But sorry about that, Miguel. Miguel Bass about Play for Chris 11, an online annual Chris Squire tribute, my favorite, where people send videos. And 6 p.m. that day, Dan interviews Marcello Sanghisi, who won the Vinnie Paul drumming challenge. Go, awesome! Another one of my favorites. Yeah,
and he's in Portugal. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Well,
yeah.
Congratulations, Marcello. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. He wanted to, and I'm going to get to comments in a moment, folks. He wanted to have a translator, and of course, we told him, sure, we want people to be comfortable. I might bring a translator because sometimes people just don't. Well, it's not that they don't understand me; they don't get me because English is not my first language. Did you know that? I don't think you knew that.
Well, what's your first language?
Sarcasm.
We've
known each other so long. You must have heard that, and it just slipped by you or something.
Well, you didn't actually have to tell me. I could have guessed, but
that's funny. Let's take a look at the some comments here. John Costello, Bob Dylan equals From Here. John C. Pet Sounds, great album for overcast days. Ooh, I'll listen to it on an overcast day. Concept Pet Sounds like a pet project. And John Costello also says Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys was their drummer. That's right. But Hal Blaine did all the heavy lifting. True story. Absolutely. And the correct answer is C. King Crimson. Oh, regarding Gavin. And hey, Lindsay McDonald, great drummer. Mark Wallace. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Tuning in from West Palm Beach, Florida. I lived there for 2.5 weeks one time. That's another story. Mark also says, "Sup, fellas? Yo, what's up?"
Yo. Dan's having a stroke. Just go on.
And Steve says Miguel is in Portugal. And Marcelo's in Brazil. That's right. I was going to say Brazil at first. Then we had a different. Oh, I'm thinking of the young man we had on, Andrew, from Portugal, from a great new prog band called Shifting Phases. That was about 2 weeks ago or so. Great drummer, great band. This female vocalist up front that is and it's a 3-piece band too, and she doesn't play an instrument. So it's like, whoa, and she's so good. Great band. So that's why I had Portugal on my mind, I guess. Thanks, Steve. Cool. Always leave it to Steve to keep me in line because my wife can't do it alone. Next, we've got some music news. This is huge. I'm going to read this one first. So first, this just happened today. I'm reading it from 2 hours ago. This is John Freese post. He says, well,
Josh Freese.
What did I say?
John.
Okay, so here it is from John Freese. Just kidding. From Josh Freese. The Foo Fighters called me Monday night to let me know that they've decided to go in a different direction with their drummer. No reason was given. Regardless, I enjoyed the past 2 years with them. Wow, 2 years already. Both on and off stage, and I support whatever they feel is the best for the band. In my 40 years of drumming professionally, I've never been let go from a band. So while I'm not angry, just a bit shocked and disappointed. But as most of you know, I've always worked freelance and bounced between bands, so I'm fine. Stay tuned for my top 10 possible reasons Josh got booted from the Foo Fighters list from Josh. I would love to see his list. So any speculation, and this is to Jason, this is to anyone here that's listening, that anybody watching live on Facebook, YouTube, any speculation? What do you folks think? Jason, what do you think?
Well, one of the things that I've been wondering about for a really long time is whether they're going to involve Shane,
Right.
Taylor's son, and he's a hell of a drummer. He plays his ass off, and I don't know if he could fully fill the shoes and if he's, old enough to really do the length of touring and recording and that sort of thing.
Well, how old is he now? Being that 2 years of
I don't know. I want to say maybe 18,
yeah,
17.
I was
I
gonna
could
say
be
17,
wrong,
but yeah.
but I'm just wondering if that's kind of been the plan all along. I really don't know. Josh is also involved in a lot of different things. I mean, my guess is that he put all that aside when he joined the Foo Fighters to tour and play.
Yeah.
But again, none of this is factual. I'm just kind of,
I think that's Fernando Maya is who had on from Shifting Phases.
oh,
Thanks.
cool.
You know, that might be the most probable explanation, and also why there was no reason given, so that they wouldn't be telegraphing what would of course be a huge announcement.
Of course, yeah,
So that
yeah.
might be it. Who knows?
Who knows, and everything in light with the new Primus thing, with these bands auditioning and making the news with the auditions and stuff. I mean, it could be one of those things too, where they're sort of forecasting something to come that might be special in the routine,
Right.
that doesn't have anything to do with Josh not knowing. Although, does he really not know? Maybe he's sworn to secrecy. Who knows?
Yeah, I was
So,
thinking that too. Maybe he does know, but and they're having fun with it that way. So
yeah, yeah.
uh
Don't know.
oh, look what John Costello says. Foos maybe get Ringo's kid. I don't know. I think he's still locked in for the
Oh yeah, he's still.
tour, the third final tour, whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah.
Phase transition. Sorry, I keep screwing up the name. What did I say? It's phase transition. Steven's yelling at me through the comments. Thanks, Steve. Rightly so. And Lindsay says, Drum Talk TV, Josh Freese rocks. It is a business like sports. They trade players now and then. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'd be curious to know the inner workings of, being a fly on a wall of what
Yeah.
happened. But who knows? We might never really fully find that out.
Yeah. I'd like it to be something like, yeah, that's what it was. And I was sworn to secrecy, signed an NDA, rather than something come out like, what? What do you mean? He had BO and he never used right guard, or like
Right.
what? Something
Yeah.
like, huh?
Yeah. 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 I mean, it could be he's working on another project that was a conflict with them. Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's check in again in a couple of months and discuss it, because I'm sure we'll have more of an answer.
Absolutely. Over to you.
All right. Following the release of Queen's remastered debut album last year, a limited edition Dolby Atmos audiophile Blu-ray of it is now set for release on June 13th. How cool.
Yeah.
Brian May says, and I quote, "The Blu-ray version is an update from the version that has currently been available to stream. Nobody has ever heard our first album quite like this." Wow, I'm interested in that. As you know, I am a member of the Ultimate Queen Celebration, and I tour with that wonderful band. So I'm curious about that. And Roger Taylor adds, "At last we get our first album to sound as we imagined it should sound."
Wow.
Phew.
Yeah.
Okay. So good.
Great quote. Eager for that. I want to hear Queen 2 like
that's one of my favorites. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So ahead of its time.
Love amazing. Yeah, we play Seven Seas of Rye, and it's just great. Yeah.
I love that. I love Night of the Black Queen, Ogre Battle. Those are my two favorite.
Ogre Battle's awesome. Yeah.
Such great production.
Yeah.
Recently, 400 artists, including Elton John, Paul McCartney, Kate Bush, Robin Williams, Dua Lipa, Coldplay, and Florence Welch have signed a letter calling on British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to update copyright laws in the face of AI technology, with their concern being copyright protection. Not a bad move. I think AI absolutely, for some reasons, has amazing merits. I think for reasons they brought this up and others, it's getting way out of hand when it comes to the arts.
Yeah, I mean, it's already out of control, and pictures are out of control, editing's out of control, The voice copying is insane.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
scariest. Imagine someone changing your credit card info in your voice,
yeah,
because you signed up for voice recognition. But think of Carnival 9 third impression
yeah.
and the computer's voice and what the argument was between the man and the computer taking over.
Yeah,
Just
or
amazing forethought.
2001, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that as
What are you
well.
doing, Dave?
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have a war with computers in the next couple of years, or robots, but I don't want to be involved. So,
Yeah, my computer already thinks we are.
well, there you go. On that note, I'll read the next item. Robert Fripp revealed earlier this week that he unknowingly suffered a heart attack in early April while traveling to Italy for a performance with the orchestra of crafty guitarists. He initially thought his symptoms were related to acid reflux. He went through 5 hours of surgery, intensive care, and a second operation. He still managed to perform with the ensemble and is now on medication. Wow, that's a pretty big deal.
Wow, I guess he had a bypass of some sort or a stent put in, or both.
That wouldn't be a 5-hour
That's
operation.
true. Yeah.
So,
Hope he's okay.
Hope he's okay too. Yep.
Yeah. Next, we've got Texas-based rock band Lord Buffalo have had to cancel their European touring as their drummer Jamal Syed was forcibly removed from a plane and detained by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Monday. According to the group's social media post, he is a Mexican citizen and lawful U.S. permanent resident green card holder, and the band said they're working with a lawyer to secure their drummer's release. Wow, he's still detained? That's crazy. The band hopes this is a temporary setback and that they can reschedule the tour, and say people should still support fellow band Orsak Oslo on tour, which began yesterday and goes up to the 23rd. That's scary, to be a legal citizen, green card holder of another country and still be forcibly removed from a plane. That's scary.
We live in scary times right now. No sense in getting political, but it's weird what's happening for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been like this for a long time. Something, it's the names are just different. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Moving on June 27th, Motörhead will release their long-lost 1976 album, The Manticore Tapes, the first recording of Motörhead's classic lineup featuring Lemmy Kilmister, Phil Filthy Animal Taylor, and Fast Eddie Clarke. The 11-track release came from when the group set up ELP's Manticore studio. Cool, I didn't know this. To rehearse and record with Ron Falkus. The tapes were lost, but have since been recovered, with restoration undertaken by Cameron Webb and mastering done by Andrew Ellicott. I'm sorry about if I ruined that last name. A deluxe edition of this release will also feature their Blitzkrieg on Birmingham 77 Live record. Wow, that must be a very interesting sound to get the first, lineup like that.
Yeah.
Sort of a live setting, together.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
And I wonder, like, even in we'll say not the best, where it was intentionally stored in the best conditions, but under like basically normal conditions, like in my closet back there, if I dug up a tape from, well, I have some tapes up here now that I think of it, from 1978. How long does the acetate hold up to where it won't just shred when you play it on a reel-to-reel? Do you have any idea? I've always wondered about that when things like this surface. Like, how is it still playable?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's funny. I'll make this a quick story because I know we're in the middle of the news, but we were mentioning physical graffiti before, and Ron Nevison was the engineer of Physical Graffiti, and I did a record with Ron, and he actually had the DAT tape of that recording. Physical Graffiti played it for us, and it was Kashmir without the orchestra. It was one of the most amazing things. I mean, I like the orchestral stuff, but to hear it with just the band was like, whoa, my God. And he was talking about how the DAT tape was starting to thin out, and he needed to get it digitally, fixed immediately, or laid saved, because it's going to break. So all these things have a tendency to have a shelf life.
Yeah, I have maybe a dozen and a half quarter-inch 2-track reel-to-reel tapes that are Led Zeppelin and Yes bootlegs from like 74 forward, actually.
Right.
Whether or not they're still playable, I don't have a clue. But
Yeah.
that always fascinates me. Like, okay, it's one thing, you lost it. How'd you lose it? Something like that. Now you found it. Now, how were you able to play it? I've always wondered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Next
Going
in the
on.
news,
Mhm.
Philly Music Fest has an expanded lineup this autumn, meaning it will now be not just 7 shows, but 9 shows in Philadelphia. This will go from October 13th through the 19th. Wow. Now it's in its 9th year. That was what I was wowing about as I was pre-reading that. That went by fast. 9 years. The nonprofit festival, founded by and produced by husband and wife team Greg and Jan Seltzer, spotlights local talent while raising funds for the Philadelphia-based music education charities. This year's headliner is the Wonder Years, the acclaimed American rock band from nearby Lansdale.
Cool. And then the last item was what we talked about before about the Josh Freese news, but you seem to have interrupted that and did the breaking news yourself.
I don't know what's wrong with me. You know what? Honestly, I thought I left the wrong version of our notes on the screen.
It's all good. It's all good.
Plus, it was such recent news. I don't know. I got carried away. Sorry, Steve.
No,
Boy, am I
it's
going to
okay.
hear about it?
No, it's good that you brought it in earlier anyway, because we were able to talk about it, and I think it was important news of the day.
Okay, cool. So each show we do an icebreaker where the co-hosts take turns week to week to week, where we ask a music-related question. And it's not necessarily a riddle, but like what would you rather, or what would you do if, or what do you prefer? You know, something like that.
Right.
It's John's turn, but since you haven't done it yet,
Uh-huh.
unless you have one off the top of your
No,
head.
you go ahead and do it. You can do it. You do it.
Okay. So, okay. Well, this one will be easy for you.
Mhm.
Easy for me to ask anyway.
Mhm.
And thanks, Lindsay. Thanks everybody for all the nice comments and everything.
Hi, guys.
Push FTW. What was I gonna say? Oh, so for all you musicians out there or music fans who don't play an instrument but want to pick an imaginary instrument, if you could go on tour with Roger Taylor, Brian May, a bass player, or replace any one of those players with the instrument you play, if you could go on tour and play one full Queen album in its entirety in sequence, what would it be?
Now,
And
yes,
Jason,
are you asking
maybe
me or are you asking
yeah, you first, and anyone
first?
can chime in, but yeah, just one album. And for all I know, you've done that with the Ultimate Queen Celebration.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because
but is there like one you haven't done or one you have done that said that's still the one I would do? Like if you
yeah, I mean, I'd have to say Night at the Opera. I mean, that is
okay.
Yeah, just so amazing. I'd love to know how they do the Prophet song live and how that would be pulled off because it was so tape what's the word, like tape looped and literally taped together, you know, in a van and everything. I'd also maybe look at the last one, Innuendo, because I love the song Innuendo so much, and there were so many great songs on that. But probably Night at the Opera, you know, it's just a really, really, really special record for me. Yeah,
I'd have to go with Queen too.
Okay.
I'd have to buy a gong, that type of gong. I have a gong, but I'd buy a gong and I'd set it up backwards so that I'd get that backwards sound in the beginning. That's how you do
that, right? Yeah. I'd love to. We haven't. Ultimate Queen has not done a full record straight through. Mark Martel has on his own. You know, when he gets asked to do, Mark is not with Ultimate Queen Celebration anymore. But he's doing his own thing. But when he gets asked to play with orchestras or you know, highlights him on certain nights, he will do Night at the Opera. He'll do News of the World. You know, he'll do like a record straight through.
Interesting. Sounds fun. Well, thanks everybody so much. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following what we do and joining guest co-host Jason Gianni and myself, Dan Shinder, on today's May 16th, 2025 News Desk Report. And coming up at the bottom of this hour, if you're watching us live, is myself with physical therapist Janice Ying, who only works with musicians, and she's got a really neat program she shows on the screen that shows the anatomy, and we're going to focus on the core today, and she could peel body parts away so you could really see what's going on, what causes injury, how to prevent it, strengthening exercises, different things like that. It's a lot of fun. If you're watching this on the archive, just go find that video. It's
awesome. That's terrific.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
everybody. See ya. Bye-bye.